welcome back to my channel. So I have got another meals of the week video for you. I've made lots of these in the past, so if you happen to be looking for meal inspiration, new recipes, how to cook on a budget, you will find these helpful. So I will link the playlist down below and you can go ahead and check those out. But let's get cracking and see what meals we had this week. So for our first meal, I picked up these pre-chopped soup vegetable packs. They were a quarter of the price, reduced to 32p, and I was actually going to cook a chicken anyway, so I thought I'd kill two birds with one stone and broil up a chicken with some leftover vegetables, creating a stock, and then in turn creating a chicken vegetable soup. So I've just added in all the chopped vegetables into the stock once the chicken's been cooked, and then I will strip the chicken down. I'm actually going to use about half of the chicken. The rest will go towards another meal or lunch as well, and it will make it that bit more filling and give us a little bit of flavour. And so that is us all plated up. I've defrosted a wheaten loaf that I've made, and I've got some shop bought brioche loaf as well, and there was 2 bowls each for everyone and a little bit left over for a lunch to freeze as well. So it's cost effective at the best of times, but using the reduced vegetables and just half the chicken, it came out at 64p per portion for the bread and the soup. The next day then, I'm using this Swartz chili and paprika chip seasoning mix. You only need very little, and I've placed them onto the chopped up potatoes to make wedges. The same, I am using some leftover veg. We've got red onion, peppers, courgettes, few cherry tomatoes, butternut squash, basically anything left over, and it's going to be roasted with balsamic vinegar. And we've just kept it very simple. We are having hot dogs, some of those wedges, and the leftover vegetables as well. Just an easy midweek tea when there's a lot going on with clubs, and that came in at 89p per head. Next day, this is one of my favourite meals. So I have chopped up 3 double chicken breasts and I've created a batter. This is our honey crispy chicken. So I have done a cook with me on this, so I'll not go into too much detail. I will link it down below. I know tons of you have tried it out and absolutely love it. My advice is just stick to the measurements, and as I explain in the video, and you will have the exact same as honey crispy chicken from the Chinese. It is full of tomato ketchup, honey, sugar. You do need to use a deep fat fryer. The air fryer doesn't give you the same effect, so if you're going to do it, just do it less often, but to get the exact taste as the Chinese, follow the instructions. And it's really delicious, one of our favourites, especially if we're doing a fake away, and it does come in at a really good price at under £1 per head, and that's because I batch buy my chicken fillets. But even at that, if shop bought, you can make it for the price of one meal from the takeaway as well. And that is us all plated up. So the next day, I'm making some chicken drumsticks. In a Ziploc bag, I've got 8 chicken drummers, and I've added quite a good dose of Worcestershire sauce, and I've grated in some of my garlic cloves, and I'm going to use about half a lemon, all of the juice in there, and a little bit of olive oil, and I'm going to give it just a really good mix through. This is ideal if you've got 24 hours beforehand to leave it in the fridge, and you will get the full flavour. Perfect for barbecues, but today I've just got 3 or 4 hours. That is sufficient for all that flavour to get into the skin, and then I'll pop it in the oven for about 40 minutes until it's cooked with all the juices. Alongside, I've got broccoli, lemon, Philadelphia, butter, 3 cloves of garlic, some olive oil, and I'm using these pasta shells today. So I'm going to make a pasta dish, and apparently it's meant to be a crispy pasta dish. So usually I just do mine oven baked or a fresh pasta, but apparently you get a good effect with this. So in a saucepan, I've melted down my butter with seasoning and the full cloves of garlic. You don't want to chop up the garlic, it's just to get the flavour from it. The pasta has to only cook halfway through, and al dente broccoli as well. So in it goes into your pot. What you want to do is leave it for 3 to 4 minutes just on the saucepan, and then start to turn it when you see some of the pasta shells turning brown and basically crisping up. Obviously you're going to cook it for the duration, so it is cooked through, but you have that little bit of bite. And then for flavouring, I wanted a bit more of a saucy texture, so I've added some of the remaining pasta water and grated in a good chunk of Parmesan cheese. And then my kids like it a little bit creamier, so I'm using about 1/3 of a tub of Philadelphia Light as well. And I'm just giving it a good mix through. Some of the little shells have definitely crisped up and it's a little bit brown. That is me all plated up. To be honest, if I want it crunchy, I would just stick to the way I normally do it, in the oven baked, or just have a normal fresh pasta. The kids love pasta in general, so they really enjoyed it, and we had them alongside those chicken drumsticks that are marinated in the Worcestershire sauce, and they're lovely and delicious, and then just a plain garlic bread. So it's kind of just a help yourself dish. It means any leftovers are for lunches and yeah, things like that. So that came in at 86p per head. And for our final meal, I've got half a duck here. I'm going to put it in the oven in a really high temperature to make crispy aromatic duck, and I'm using 5 spice as well for a little bit of flavouring. It's very easy to do, but it does take a bit of time. We're going to serve it with these pre-done bao buns from Marks and Spencer's, and I've also got the School of Wok bao bun kits. Dylan really wanted to recreate these himself, so I'm going to leave it to him. The instructions are inside the box, and it's pretty self-explanatory. We don't need all the little rubs, just the flour mix. And these rubs we'll keep aside for something else that we're cooking, so we'll not let them go to waste. I've got a little steam basket here. It's the only size I have, so he will make the buns to fit that basket, and I let him be. I didn't want to put him under pressure filming, but it seemed pretty easy and straightforward. It's just to rest with cling film for 10 minutes. Then he shaped them, popped them into the steamer on boiling water for approximately 8 minutes until they've risen and they're a nice texture. We've also got this pre-done rice from Lidl, and it's just very similar to my egg fried rice that you've probably seen me make quite a lot, but we're going to throw that on the wok. I have added a little bit of soy sauce and sesame oil as well, just to give it a little bit more flavouring. And everything is more or less in the oven cooking away. There's not too much work with it. These buns have come out. I can see little cracks. That may be down to the mixing of it, but I'm not going to criticise Dylan. I think he did a pretty good job. Once the duck's done, I've shredded it all through there, and I've just added some spring onions and some Poisson sauce just to give it a little bit of flavour, but we will also serve it with Poisson sauce that you can build it up and add more. So everything is plated up. We've got that rice. I put on some spring rolls with the duck. Duck's all pre-done, and then of course we've got our bao buns, and you can see there's a big difference. Obviously Marks and Spencer's are very uniformed and perfect, but these School of Wok ones tasted very similar, so maybe a little bit of tweaking and you could get the same effect. There is just enough for everyone to have a little bit of everything. This is very similar to what we've had in a fusion restaurant, and this was in excess of £50, so definitely not £1 per head, but it is a good way to get the kids involved trying something and have an easier night of cooking as well. So everyone enjoyed it, and our Jude is definitely the Simon Cowell of the cookery world. He said that the School of Wok bao buns were definitely the best, and I think I actually agree. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and of course if you're new around here and you would like to see more videos like these, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell as well. But as always, thank you for watching, guys.